So if there's one thing that this Lindsay Clancy trial is doing, is it's giving fathers and mothers an opportunity to have real conversations with their sons. So as a dad of a 15-year-old son, one of the most important conversations that we've been having is helping him to prepare for the most critical decision he can possibly make. Probably the most important decision of his entire life. Who he's going to spend the rest of his life with. And watching this Lindsay Clancy trial and this mass psychosis that's happening around it has provided one of the best real-life examples of how to approach this. And you see, I'm not the only one, because I'm starting to see comments like this show up in the videos and the comment section of people who are talking about the Lindsay Clancy trial. Daniel here says, my girlfriend thinks Patrick did it. What do I do, guys? Please, someone help me. So as my wife and I are talking about this trial, our kids have a little bit of understanding of what's happening in the trial and what's happening outside and around the trial. So last night I sat down with my son and I showed him this. This is a conversation, a screenshot of a text conversation between a guy and a girl. And in this conversation, you can tell that she's very upset that he's decided to end the relationship. And she says, so you're really breaking up with me over an effing opinion. And his response, I read to my son verbatim. It says, I'm not breaking up with you over an opinion. I'm breaking up with you because that opinion showed me a fundamental difference in our values. I can have compassion for somebody struggling mentally without excusing what happens to those children. If I'm choosing someone to potentially be the mother of my kids, I need to trust their judgment completely, especially when it comes to protecting them. What you said created a doubt in me that I can't ignore or gamble my future children on. Young men, hear me. That is exactly the way you should be viewing the relationships that you have or will have in trying to determine the most important decision you're going to make. Should you or should you not commit to that woman? Because whether you know it or not, that decision will follow you likely for the rest of your life, especially if you have children. Young men, in this social media world we live in right now, you must be able to move beyond just the way she looks and the way she makes you feel. You have to start judging how she evaluates information. Is she someone that prefers social media conspiracies over facts and evidence? Is she someone that's willing to completely disregard, like in this case, admissions of guilt because the conspiracies are more fun? Evaluating someone's judgment to be able to make critical decisions are going to impact things like financial choices, medical decisions, how you're going to choose to raise your children together. And if this is somebody who is susceptible to what you're seeing play out in the mass psychosis around you, that's a red flag. Pay very close attention to how she deals with reality in emotionally stressful environments. Her saying that she can sympathize with somebody who just admitted to killing their 3 young children is moving well beyond just healthy empathy into an entirely different world where they cannot separate the difference between empathy and mental illness. Inverting an admission of guilt and hard evidence into finding personal solidarity with somebody is demonstrating that they care far more about identity than about morality. You should be evaluating very closely how this person calibrates or aligns with what matters the most when it comes to protecting your children and your home. Because what you're seeing modeled through this is exactly how it's going to be demonstrated in your home. What's acceptable in stressful environments. It's going to be modeling what teaches your children how to think critically and how to accept accountability. It will define in your household how emotional and social pressure impact decision-making and judgment. And it is the most important decision you'll ever make for you and for your kids. So young men, use this opportunity to evaluate how the person on the other side of your relationship is responding to the psychosis going on around us, because that's how they're going to respond in your household.